Live right here on this Monday on the early line, a Monday that starts off a new week with a doubleheader of NBA playoff action. It is game number one of round number two of an Eastern Conference playoff series between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. Tonight, it's live at Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks enter as a 6-point favorite. JY back for a second consecutive segment. Before we dive into the breakdown for game number one, we look at this series overall. JY, you said the odds makers expect it to be an easy one potentially for the Knickerbockers, but maybe you're not so sure. Why can Indiana and how do the Pacers give the Knicks a test here in this series?
They just make it a track meet. And to me, you're looking at a New York team that Tibbs plays every game like it's game 7, the entire season. So this is where you start to get concerned as you get deeper into the playoffs. These guys are playing big minutes. And to me, I think that's the key here is I think you have to look at this game and look at a way that how Rick Carlisle can get in transition with Haliburton, with Nembhard. You know, obviously, listen, I'm not going to expect a guy like TJ McConnell to drop 20 points like he did against game 6. I'm not expecting Obi to drop 20 points. But I do expect him to get up and down the floor and test Tibbs, to make Tibbs ready, folks, to go 8 and maybe even 9 deep. So now we're talking about Precious Achiuwa possibly getting minutes. Now we're talking about maybe bringing Alec Burks and giving him time. God, he's been awful since he's been back with the Knicks. So that is why I think it gets up and down a little bit. I think this is a 6-game series. Can New York win it in 5? Yes. Do I think so? No, because I think we'll probably be – I wouldn't be shocked if we're 2-2 heading back to MSG in a game number 5. The other thing that benefits Indiana, guys, is the fact that in regards to the games, the first 4 games, I'm not mistaken, there's only 1 day off in between each game. So there's not a lot of rest for a team like New York to get their legs back. That's why I think that's another reason why I think it goes 6 games with the Knicks.
Oh. Coach, when you take a look at this series and how it winds up, because we talked about the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? Okay, won that series. Been a while since we've done that. We're happy to be here. Let's see what happens against Boston. You're not going to get that out of these 2 teams in this. The reason I say that is I think we all expected Indiana, knowing that Giannis Antetokounmpo was banged up in the level of basketball that Milwaukee was playing down the stretch. They had a legitimate chance to win, and they believed they should be able to win that series and did so in 6. When you take a look at the Knicks and the Sixers, even though they won in 6 games, it just feels like it was an absolute slugfest between the Sixers and the Knicks every single game. Now, moving forward, you are home court advantage. The Garden is going to be rocking. Talk to me about the level of competitiveness that we're looking at both of these teams heading in, where we expected them to win their series, yes, but how they got here, a little bit different for me.
Yeah, it was, because let's be honest, Indiana did it against a team. Like, let's be honest. I know Giannis was hurt. I know Dame was compromised. They also had Doc Rivers coaching the team. So let's just make sure we bring Doc back into the mix a little bit of what his deficiencies are, particularly when it comes to adjusting. But you're right. And I think it's the other reason why you get concerned about the Knicks and it not being a short series is sometimes it's like, when you have a heavyweight fight and it's a 15-round slugfest and a guy wins barely, the next fight, they may not have as much left in the tank. And I think Philadelphia may have taken a lot out of New York. Particularly, we talked about the minutes and every game coming down to the wire. Now, what that does benefit a team like New York is, end of game, they may be able to make the plays to get the wins because they've been in it pretty much every game like that. So to me, it's such an intriguing series and contrasting of styles of these two. The one thing you have to look for is this, particularly with New York. Can they continue to dominate the boards? This is what they've done all year. They play I used to call it play volleyball. They throw the ball at the rim and they run and go get it. And I think that's the way New York's got to do it. If they're able to dominate the boards, guys, that may mean that less runouts for Indiana because now they have to send more guys to block out. They're really good guys at rebound, outlet, up the floor in 3-4 seconds. So if you're dominating the boards offensively like New York will, it takes away running opportunities for Indiana. Watch the rebounding game closely. New York dominates it, they can dominate the series. If not, things get very hairy.
A key for this second round series, a key for game number one tonight inside Madison Square Garden. A little bit of movement on the spread since we started this segment. New York was a 6-point favorite, now just 5 and a hook in favor of the Knicks for the opening game of this set tonight inside MSG. Total at 217 and a half. JY, it's kind of a two-part question, but really it's whoever comes out on top. What is the key for them tonight? If Indiana wins, what is the reason why? If the Knicks hold serve on their own home floor, how did New York get it done?
It's the boards. It's the boards. And you got to think about, if you're Indiana, what are you going to do with Brunson? Like, how are you going to defend this guy? Are you going to let him just go off? Or are you going to send a double team and try to get at him? On the flip side, watch particularly the matchup of Miles Turner. Miles Turner and Tyrese Haliburton run a really good pick and roll / pick and pop. It hurt New York during the season because New York likes to play that drop coverage with Hartenstein particularly. Mitchell Robinson will come out and switch out a little bit more, but that pick and pop game will be dangerous. More than anything with the spread, I like the over because I think Rick Carlisle is going to try and push the pace in game one to test the limits of the Knicks and see if we can get them in a running match. 5 out of the last 6 games, guys, have gone over this number, 217 and a half. I can see this game being, honestly, 225, 230. Some of these games were really high scoring. I think this is going to be a running game. Carlisle tries to set the tone early by making this a track meet.
So when you look at the superstars for tonight in the Garden as well, Tyrese Haliburton hasn't really been scoring at the clip maybe we saw in the opening half of this year. 17 and a half is the points prop. JY, quickly here. Do the New York Knicks, or maybe better yet, can the New York Knicks win game number 1 if Jalen Brunson stays under 33 and a half?
Yes, because I think if I'm Indiana, I'm going to get the ball out of his hands. I would be looking at Brunson's assist prop, to be honest with you, see if he gets other people going. To me, on the flip side, Haliburton, remember, folks, he wanted to get drafted by the Knicks when they took Obi Toppin. I'm looking at 17 and a half points. I think that's light. I think he gets to 20 tonight.
Obi Toppin makes his return to the Garden tonight, now in a Pacers uniform as well.